1, 0.
Weekend confirmed.
Ignition. Liftoff.
Hey everybody, welcome to Question of the Week. My name is Garnett Lee. I'm suffering from a little bit of a cold. I got my tea. I'm going to soldier on and power through this. If you want to get your questions to us, you know how to do it. Facebook or on Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe. As Ryan pointed out, got to get the number right here, or get the positioning just right. Subscribe to our Weekend Confirmed YouTube channel. All right, folks, this is the question for this week. It comes from Ceridian. And I like how he hashtagged this on Twitter, QOTW, for Question of the Week. It says, what features, lessons do you think the PC still implements better than the consoles? It's a great question. I think part of what it points out is that the game world has already really started homogenating into a single platform sort of approach. We were just talking about, Ryan and I were talking about Skyrim and how the user experience is very similar across both of them. Now, of course, a lot of PC old guard will get very upset about that and say that it's a dumbing down of games, that it's a reduction of things that the PC could be doing. For instance, you've got a keyboard in front of you, you have a lot more controls at your disposal. However, I think a lot of it also just shows that the games are coming together from a design and construction standpoint. So what can the console world learn from PC? Well, that keyboard and mouse is a more complicated and feature-packed set of controls. There's just a whole lot of buttons there, right? So one of the things that has always been a constant concern for designers in PC games is UI and user experience. And this is something that we also see in the mobile space, but I think that a lot of times console games have missed out on this. I just finished reviewing Soul Calibur 5, and one of the things that I found that was really a little off-putting about the game was that though the fighting system had been redone, though the online infrastructure, you know, the nuts and bolts technology underneath it had gotten much better, the menu system looked like a menu system from a console game from 10 years ago. It showed no ability to learn from how people interact with games. You still are going through menus in an awkward manner. And this is something where good PC games, now keep in mind not all PC games are good, so don't take that as a blanket statement, but good PC games have been adaptive and ready to take into account new ways that people interact with their environment, new methods of, in the business they call it the Chrome, or you know, the framework for a user experience of how you click into things, what you get accustomed to. Look at something like Facebook and how quickly you get upset when things change around on that. There are user experiences that work, there are user experiences that don't work. One of the things the PC world has always been a little more keen to is making sure those experiences work. Another part of it that I think we really need to see an improvement on in console games is the use of mods. Obviously, modding and bringing those into the game as a whole is really adapted well to the PC space, where you have a hard drive, you have a file tree that you can access very easily. Somebody's got to conquer that and make it an easier experience for us to get mods into our games for that community to flourish. I'm very curious to see, for instance, how Minecraft is going to develop, because obviously you're building a world. Okay, well, I digressed a little bit from mods, but you're building a world and you have to have a server that starts up and then you have people connecting to it. All of these sorts of things that PC do in the internet connectivity and file saving space, that consoles, because they are a walled garden, because the producers, you know, the holders, the platform holders want to keep control of it. They struggle with how open do we make it, how far do we let people in, and do we risk having viruses or other intrusions get in there. So those are a couple of things. Obviously, some of the things we've seen go the other direction. Voice chat. You know, we pushed voice chat with Ventrilo and a number of other competitors on PC for a long time, but it wasn't as universally adopted. And then Live came along and it made voice chat just ubiquitous. Now we can all joke about how the live trolls are and all that kind of stuff, but they've certainly pushed voice technology in that regard. And then controller adoption. You know, we were talking about just a minute ago about how the PC has all those controls in front of you, but on the flip side, one thing that you see now pretty common across games, you're going to see it in Reckoning, Kingdom of Amalur, is that you could just plug a 360 controller into your USB port and use it with your computer and enjoy the things that, you know, the computer does really well, which is tech upgrades, high resolution, great frame rates, and those sorts of things. So a little back and forth. There's a lot of interplay between PC platform and console platform, and I think it's really indicative of how those two worlds are very, very close now to becoming one. So thanks for your question. Hope we will catch you again, and hopefully I'll get over this cold and be feeling a lot better, a little more bright-eyed when we talk to you next week.
I don't know.
Well, everywhere for all these games.
America and Europe are considerably different markets than it is in Japan.
According to
so
NeoGAF's
only time will
translation
tell to see
of
how well
said
it does
information.
here. But
it seems
Microsoft
to be a
does not have any plans to get into the
tabletop
handheld
style
market
role-playing
anytime
game, trying
soon,
to
and I know
emulate,
this because I actually
D&D,
asked
tabletop
Phil
D&D
Spencer,
with dice
who is one of
rolls
the heads of
affecting
Microsoft
a
Game
lot of
Studios,
your-
if this was a plan of theirs, and I
your
talked to Aaron.
combat and actions that happen in the game. They're trying to simulate the